So we've actually got some breaking Black Clover news that just got dropped recently to be talking about the show, and it would explain a lot of the things that's been happening with this show's pacing, with a lot of things that's been going on around a bit. And I'd like to thank as well like Yonkou Production as well for like providing this information. But apparently, and this is going to be very weird as well to be talking about this news, but Black Clover's anime is actually going to be receiving 51 episodes instead of the slated 13 as we presumably like found out about the series like originally, because like originally we thought that this like even on Funimation's site it stated that it's going to be taking 13 episodes of the show and all that to adapt. Now a lot of the time on that, like from what we've seen on that, like it might have been a little bit of an error, maybe it went on there, but as far as I've known Yonkou and all that, he actually has some reliable sources and all that where he got this information from. And not to mention as well, he has an incredibly good track record for getting a lot of these informations right. So I am going to be actually taking this as his true wholehearted and all that about this. It's weird and all that with Funimation, so if there is any more updates to this, if this wasn't air and all that, I will correct that in the video and say that then. But this right here would explain so much about what is going on with the first episode, the second, and the third episode. Like, because from what we found out from all that is that the pacing is being slowed down, they're adding a lot of in-canon filler, and it would make sense because, especially with the first episode, I won't go into too much spoilers, but there's clearly a scene that you see with Asta, and he has all these like tribal marks like all over his face, and let's just say this happens in the previous arc of the manga. This is something that's fairly recent and all that. This is around about, and I think that arc ends around about like chapter 100. It ran about exactly 100 or so that like the whole witch arc ends. Now with all of that being taken into like, you know, everything that's going into it, it would explain a lot what's happening with this show, and also as well why they are slowing down the pacing is mainly the fact that if they want to do this in 51 episodes, that is clearly a sign to show that they're going to be adapting up to here. I don't think we're going to be having any filler anime ending. It really does depend whether or not if this show is successful or not, like depending with like all the 50 episodes on there. I mean, that's a very big risk that we're going to be seeing from this. Mind you, this is as well, from what we're seeing in Studio Period, they did attempt this last season as well with Twin Stars Exorcist. Now, as far as I know, that Twin Stars had a decent anime original ending, but some of the content with what they did, they slowed it down, they mixed some stuff up. I know a lot of people were really disappointed with that. Personally, I read the manga for the series and I loved it, and also as well Black Clover. I really do enjoy this, but if they can add into some of the stuff where I feel like Black Clover has some of the weaker parts and all that, I feel like that will help it. Then again and all that, I think a lot of people really enjoyed last week's episode and all that, to see that it showed a lot more of Yuno and Asta's characters as kids. I'm personally looking more forward to, even though I had a few issues with last week's episode, I am way much looking forward to next week's, as it's going to be showing this like huge, very big like 6-month time skip that just was out of nowhere in the second chapter of the manga, and I'm hoping that will explain a little bit more of their training and what happened during those 6 months to kind of change the characters slightly. And even as well, they're thinking like, well, what about other stuff that we're going to be going? It would explain why the opening as well hasn't got too much stuff, why we're not seeing characters like Mars, why we're not seeing like a bunch more members and all that, like Leopold and like all those kind of like characters and all that, why we're not seeing a little bit more of their action. It's because they're probably going to take their time. We're going to be going through like probably every 12 episodes an arc or so, so maybe we might just get to Mars in this season. I hope not, but I feel like they're going to drag some stuff out. However, one thing that's actually going to help is that during this volume as well, Volume 7 came out in Japan, there was also as well a light novel for the series that came out as well, which is canon because the characters in the Witch arc that come back are from the light novel, so making the light novel canon itself, this is a perfect time to actually add some stuff, which I even mentioned when the anime adaptation was being announced, and even in the manga, that I hope that they add this into an anime, because this would be fantastic, because even still, it's untranslatable, it isn't in English, and we've got an issue there, is some of us don't know who some of these characters are, because we're being introduced to about 3 to 4 characters, which we're supposed to care about in the manga, but obviously we don't know as an English audience, so this helps a lot in Black Clover's anime situation, where it's like we need to like actually have to buy some time for some episodes. Here we go. So I really hope, if anything, it doesn't end on an anime thing. I think, if anything, what this is going to do, this maybe might help some characters later on in the long line, but I think, if anything, this could be a detriment to the show. I think it's very risky to even try that. I thought the whole point of even taking 13 episodes, as I said previously in my other video, is that to play it safe. This is a big risky endeavor to have like 50 odd episodes of the show, because this could backfire very heavily in their face if this isn't as successful as My Hero Academia or any of the other hit successes recently like Haikyuu. This could really blow up in their face, and we'll have to wait and see whether or not this is going to go down and all that until we hear more news as well and all that. I would still say take it with a grain of salt, but then again, this is Yonkou, and he normally does come out with really good information on this stuff. So even still, I say, like, it's not skeptical and all that, but even still, just in case and all that, like, listen to like some other information on that if you do have it on there. But so far and all, I am 80 to 90% like that this is true, and I am very excited and all that to hear about this and all that in the future. And whether or not this is going to be good or bad or not, I think it's like, I honestly, it is so mixed where this to go with the show and all that. Like, it could either go really well or really bad, but there's a part of me where I'm excited, like, we're getting about 50 plus episodes of Clover. That really makes me excited there. And also as well, regardless of what material and all that, I know Pyrio actually does really well with animation when it comes to fight scenes, so I'm very much looking forward to that. But that's all from me. Thank you as always for watching, and I'll see you guys, though, next time.